Welcome back to DVC Weekly. This is episode 213. My name is Jason Oppelding. I'm the broker of Buy and Sell DVC. I'm here with Scott Ferrioli.
I'm the owner of DVC-RENTAL.com. Remember the dash to save the cash, and Buy and Sell DVC.com.
And we are already into March of 2025. It's March 5th, 2025. Hopefully you're coming down for spring break over the next month. And we have the 11-month window is going to be February 5th, 2026. And the 7th-month window is now October 5th, 2025. We're going to start on the buy and sell side of things, and financing your purchase. Probably in the top 5 questions that we get, are you able to finance this purchase, or, do you just simply have to pay cash? No, there's finance companies out there. Really over the years, if you go back to resales, in like 2004, there weren't really many options on financing the property, but now there are some finance companies out there that this is their specialty. One of them is Vacation Club Loans.
We do like very much. Vacation Club Loans does a great job.
And so the other question is, they say, do I need to get the financing and everything rearranged before I make an offer? No. You see a property, you're interested in the property, you can click the button to make an offer. We can go through that process. Let's say you come to an agreement with the seller, you sign everything, the seller signs everything. We can send it to Vacation Club Loans. Debbie Eli is part of their team. And, if it's a weekday and it's before 2 p.m., you're probably going to get an answer that same day on, this is what we can offer you. If it's after, 3, 4 p.m., it's probably going to be the next day that you're going to get a response. But you're going to get a response very fast. And then they're going to say, this is what we can offer. And then you're going to pick whichever one you want to do. And then you're going to move forward. It's a very easy process, streamlined process. Again, this is Vacation Club Loans. It's not like, oh yeah, we also do, Disney Vacation Club, but we don't really know about, no, that's their main focus. So they have a streamlined, very easy procedure. They work with the closing company, which is usually DVC Title and Escrow, and everything goes smooth. And right now, Vacation Club Loans is now offering financing closing costs on all DVC contracts with a 600 plus FICO or better. Vacation Club Loans is still offering the no credit check option for up to 120 months at just 16.9%, plus $0 loan origination fees, saving buyers another $199 at closing. So yes, financing a property can be done, and it's a very smooth process, and we can walk you through it, and they're there to help you along the way. And now we're on to the food review of the week. Luckily, I would tell you, Scott, he's thought about starting a finance company, but so far he's leaving it to Vacation Club Loans and the other people, so that hasn't come about yet. So
I don't think it's worth it for me.
So now we're
already.
So now we're on to the food review of the week.
Come here, I'm gonna eat you! Get in my belly!
So for today's food review, I've been dying to try this snack for a while, but to be honest, I don't get over to Magic Kingdom as often as I would like. So for the food review today, we are at Gaston's Tavern, and I've been dying to try the creme brulee croissant. It's a crispy croissant filled with vanilla bean custard for $5.49. So it's a flaky square croissant stuffed with the custard, and then a sugar, like a creme brulee, a crispy sugar coating on top. This was even better than I had hoped it would be. Everything on this was perfect. I would get this every single time I go to Magic Kingdom if I can. Even though I'm always looking for new items, I think I still have to get this anyway. I think this is one of my highest scores to date, 9.5. This was absolutely fantastic. And I've been on a roll of good stuff recently. I need to get some bad things in there. People think I'm getting too soft on everyone, but this 9.5, absolutely wonderful.
Well, that's a good way to start. We're doing good into 2025.
Yeah, It's pretty strong 2025 so far. I'm waiting for a real stinker to come out there.
And now we're on to the DVC-rental sides of things.
So on the rental side, I want to talk about some of the mistakes or errors that DVC members make regarding membership.
Oh, no. I don't know if I can watch this.
Jason can possibly jump in here if he has some stuff as well. One of the first ones is overvaluing perks. 90% of the perks typically you would never use, or truthfully are a huge waste of points. For instance, for the waste of points, I'm talking about maybe like using the points to book in the outside of DVC. So using it to book some of the moderate rooms, or possibly using it to book the Disney Cruise Line. The real main one that people use, I think, is a very good value, is the discounted annual pass. So that's really the only thing I think really holds much value. You can get some discount on merchandise and stuff by having the annual pass, but a lot of times, if you have something else like a Disney Visa card, you get the same discount as well. So the main thing, truthfully, is the annual pass.
And when you say discounted annual pass, I mean, it's really like the option to buy the pass.
Correct, yes. I forget which pass it's called.
Sorcerer?
Might be
Right.
It's the Sorcerer Pass.
And remember, like Florida resident and DVC members are equal.
Yeah, so as a Florida resident, I get the same discount on that anyway. So it's the same offering of the Sorcerer Pass. That's the main thing. It is a good deal to get the Sorcerer Pass. Another mistake is that you're expecting to easily switch at the 7-month window. A lot of people will tell you, book your home resort at 11 months, and then once it hits 7 months, you just quickly book what you really want. Sometimes that's not always the case. It used to be a lot easier to book resorts. Like I mentioned this in the past, but when I first became a DVC member, I think I was probably 4 months out from the first week of December, and I was able to score 3 value rooms at Animal Kingdom for myself, both of my brothers in one room, and then my parents in another room. That's impossible to get now. So as more people have come in, it has gotten tighter. So expecting that you can easily get what you want at 7 months, not really the case. Another one that this is my personally think that, selling a loaded contract. A loaded contract will sell faster and it will sell for a premium, but I feel that many times you will make more money. It takes a little bit longer, but you will make more money if you sell a contract that you rent out the points first and then sell the contract. Trying also to make sure I don't upset Jason with any of this stuff as well.
Well, I mean, on that one, it's just, it gets a little dicey because if you have someone that's selling that needs the money for something else, like you can sell it, you can list it, you can sell it, and it can close in 2 months. So all of a sudden, if they fall into this thing where they want to rent out points, well, first of all, we don't list it until they get this rent. Well, all of a sudden they rent it out and it's a reservation that's 11 months away. Now you're waiting for that money for 11 months. So that doesn't always work for everybody, depending on their reason for selling. Correct. So that's the only thing. Yeah, if it was, like sometimes, I don't know. I mean, it would be interesting now because you can transfer banked points. Correct. So then someone, instead of making that reservation far in advance, they could transfer the banked points. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to get into the weeds there with that, but anyway, back to Scott. Sorry.
Another mistake people realize is that you can rent points. A lot of DVC members don't even realize you can rent points. Told us before, we've had a renter now who's lost points for actually, I think it's probably going on like 9 or 10 straight years now, that he had no idea that he was able to rent his points. He had gotten sick, hasn't gone to the parks, and every year he would just lose his points over and over again. So you got to make sure that you know that you can rent your points. You do have options. Next item is waiting too long to book. Especially, delaying booking your reservation, especially during peak periods, can significantly limit the amount of availability left. So you need to make sure that if you own at a highly desired resort, you're going to want to book that as close to 11 months as possible and not sit there and wait because, you need to lock in that room. Also, failing to plan for future travel needs. So if you're thinking of buying a contract from Jason and you're going, my family and I go, twice a year and we've got 2 little kids, you have to think that, 5 years from now, things should be completely different. Maybe you don't want the studio. So, maybe now as the kids get older, buying a 100-point contract to get the studio wasn't the best choice. That you plan for the future that you might want 200 points because you're going to be buying you're going to want a larger room. So also, you always want to buy a little bit more than, if you run a calculator and figure that you're going to need 100 points, Disney can always move points around and stuff. So it's always good to have a little buffer just in case Disney changes anything, just in case, you want to stay an extra night. So it's always smart to kind of try to plan for the future, not just what you think right now. Last one is sometimes you forget to bank your points. Disney normally we'll let you have a one-time exception where even if you've missed your banking window, they'll help you out and allow you to bank them. But that's not guaranteed. That's probably depending a little bit on cast members as well. So just make sure if you're a DVC member to bank your points on time, because otherwise they're going to be expiring. And if you're not planning on going, you're going to be stuck with renting them out to try to get the money back. And if they're expiring within the next couple months, there's probably not going to be a lot of great availability as well. So always best try to remember, make notes for yourself to bank your points. Disney will send you notifications sometimes about banking your points. Just make sure you bank on time.
I got a question for you.
Yes.
Opinion. What's your opinion on wait lists? What's your opinion on wait lists when you already have something booked for the same days?
I mean, I've had, my family personally has had very good results using the wait list. So if I've got something booked and I want to wait list another resort, I think it's absolutely great option. Do it. I would definitely have. Here's where it's tough, and I know you know this. If you cancel the room more than, so if you say, I'm at Saratoga Springs, but I want to wait list for Boardwalk, you can choose to wait for the wait list to end like 31 days in advance. So that way you can still, if the wait list comes through, you can cancel any points before they go into holding. Or they have ones that, that will cancel 7 days before your vacation, which at that point, as it gets closer, you might have a much higher probability that possibly somebody cancels because somebody gets sick or something happens last minute. So you have a better shot of getting that wait list. But also now, if you do get the wait list, you're well within anything that you save, whatever, is going into holding. If it's less points than what you already have, they're going to go into holding. So wait lists, as long as you know what you're doing, if the wait list, especially if they're more points than what you're currently using, stay as far out as you can because it's not going to hurt you. If the wait list is less points than what you currently have, be aware that if you have that late cancellation and it comes through for you, you may have 20 points now that they're automatically going to be in holding, so you're kind of stuck. So it can go both ways, but our family has had great luck with using wait lists.
So that's what basically you summed it up perfectly. I mean, that is like wait lists to me, they can be scary because if you don't know what you're doing, you can mess up.
Yes, absolutely.
So my brain just because I see people, they're like, I've booked this, and then they have, because it's 2 wait lists max.
Yes.
So all of a sudden they have 2 wait lists, and then I'm like, wait, what? 2 wait lists? I'm like, so one of them might be more points, one of them might be less points, and this and that, and then so you have to be careful with wait lists.
Very much so.
And then what about do you have an opinion on borrowing points, especially I guess when it comes to wait list?
Borrowing,
would you ever have a wait list if it required you to borrow points if that comes through?
Yes, as long as it's more points, because you don't want to be there's no point in you have to borrow points for only
right if it's more.
So it's fine as long as you're good with that, because again, once you borrow the points in, they're locked into that use year, so they can't, once they're in there, you're kind of stuck with them. But I mean, as the wait, if you're borrowing, that means you're in a situation where it's more points, so it's not really going to hurt you. So there's no reason not to do that if that's something you want.
But yeah, basically I just was asking about it because the wait list is generally never an even swap.
Yeah,
it's never going to be exactly
something.
You have 5 nights here that requires this points. If you get this, it's either going to be more or less. There's no, it's just a few,
but not many. You're absolutely correct. And normally it's going to be more points or less points. So take that into account when doing these wait lists.
Yeah, because sometimes we'll get a listing, and then the listing has, it's very rare. Most listings are very straightforward, X amount of points plus some banked points and the points coming next year. But then you get a listing that has banked points, the points for the current year, and then the next year, for whatever reason, so it just, it gets confusing sometimes. So yeah, you just want to be, I guess, throwing out the term, people always just, wait list this, they say it, but they don't give the disclaimer. When you're on the radio, the disclaimer where the guy reads at 100 miles an hour, Scott's disclaimer needs to be there anytime someone says, oh yeah, just wait list this. Well, be advised, blah, blah, blah,
Now, that made me think. I was sharing one of your contracts the other day, 2 days a week on our Facebook page, which is Disney Vacation Club Resales DVC. That's our group. I was listing one of your contracts that was for sale. That was a good deal. Price had like dropped on it, but it was like, you know, it had some extra 2020, had extra 2023 points, some extra 2024 points, but they had stripped out some of the 2025 points. And I was just like, what the heck is this? Is somebody borrowed points or waitlisted or did something? I'm like, you didn't use your 23s or your 24s, but somehow you used the 25 still. We just turned it to 25. You borrowed them in, but you still had older points that didn't get used. It's like, again, you have to be cautious when you do this type of stuff because it's very easy to mess up your contract.
So that was a very good episode there. Let me just look at the list again to see, sorry here, mistakes or errors. Yeah, very good list. And really, like, and nowadays, I feel like there's so much less mistakes and errors made versus like ownership between like 2007 to 2013 time. Because, you know, there's just more information out there. People can, you know, they can post it in the Facebook, they can go on Reddit, and you can get a lot of, you know, good information. So a lot less errors are happening. Yep. So, and also because of Scott on YouTube now.
Both of us trying to get the knowledge out there for everybody.
There you go. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day.